Dudes Who Bet Sports.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Sports, and welcome back to the show after a wild weekend in college football. One like I really can't remember. So many upsets, including the improbable Vanderbilt beat Alabama last weekend. Bobby, we got to start with that. Just incredible.
I've been trying to sit around and think about a bigger upset. And one just doesn't come to mind right off the top of my head. I can't think of one that's more shocking to me.
People kind of went to that Appalachian State beating Michigan back when Appalachian State was FCS.
Yeah, but
I feel like this was bigger in a way.
Michigan's never been Alabama.
Right.
That's the thing. Now, that was huge, and it was early in the season. I mean, come on, we're 5-6 weeks into the season. We got some things going there. We got some form going on.
Yeah.
It wasn't that it is. Winning anyway is a shock.
Yeah.
They kicked the living shit out of them.
They really did.
If you watch that game, first of all, I didn't turn it on until I saw it was 13-0. I totally forgot about it. I thought, there's no reason to even worry about it. Then I saw it crawl across the bottom. I don't even know what game I was watching. It said it was 13-0. So I got to turn this on. And Alabama scored to make it 13-7. And I go, okay, this is, they turned it over early and gave them a score. And, it's all going to settle down. Next thing I know, it's 23-7.
Yep.
They never got ahead.
Mm-mm.
They could not stop them.
Yep.
Vanderbilt had the ball for 42 minutes.
42
out of 60 minutes. That's unbelievable.
It was incredible. There were, Alabama turned it over a couple of times. That hurt them. But like you said, they never could stop them. And it didn't matter if Vanderbilt ran it or threw it. They were getting yards.
No, they never, ever stopped them. Never.
No. Now, Alabama definitely shot themselves in the foot. Maybe they could have won a shootout type game without the turnovers. But Alabama legit gave up 40 in this game, and it was shocking, to say the least. Just shocking.
I don't know whether it's one of those perfect games that you play offensively and every play you dial up works.
Yeah.
Or if the quarterback was for Vanderbilt was just out of his mind.
It was a little bit of both of those things.
Yeah, he just kept making play after play after play.
They're better than normal Vanderbilt. That's another aspect. Yeah.
Well, he's made them better. He's a playmaker.
Yeah.
And he has no fear.
Mm-hmm.
They have some personality.
Yep.
They're pretty good offensively.
Yeah.
And, I'm sitting there and watching it, and I'm texting you, and they scored to make it 40-35. And there was no doubt in my mind, 3 and out, they're going to go down and win the game.
Yes. Yeah.
They never got the ball back.
Well, if you remember, Vanderbilt did a very un-Vanderbilt-like thing. They got lost 3 yards on first down, 3 or 4. They threw it on second down. They said to themselves, you could tell they were like, we cannot just run 3 times and punt. We're going to get beat. They threw it. Kid made a great pass, and they get 20 yards. And it's like, and then they just ran it down their throat and got the first down on the next drive or the next series. So
just made Alabama look bad.
It was truly shocking because of what had happened the week before and how good they looked for at least 2.5 quarters in that game. Yeah. And you just kind of felt like, well, like you said, that they're behind, but they're going to come back and win this game. They just never could do it. So that was, I don't know if you saw this, but Lane Kiffin was in his press conference after his win over South Carolina, which was a big win. This reporter's asking Lane a question, and you could tell Lane Kiffin's just staring off in the distance. I don't know if you saw this or not.
No, I did not.
And the reporter asks the question, and Lane goes, how many timeouts does Alabama have? And this was when they just made the first down, and there was 1:18 on the clock. And some guy says they've got 1. And Lane goes, I'm sorry, we have to watch this before we go on because we'll probably never see this again in our lifetime.
Yeah.
He's like, this is unbelievable what's happening right now. So it just shows you the magnitude. And then so they watched the end of the game, and then the press conference went back on. So it was
unbelievable. I can't think of a bigger upset. I cannot. Involving a team. The statistics for poor old Vanderbilt, how many games they've lost against ranked teams and stuff to that.
Oh,
It
it's
was just,
yeah,
yeah, it was just
yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
And
Yep.
there was nothing flukish about it. That was the thing. If you watch the game, you know that Alabama just got controlled. They
Yep.
just did. And they had to make some incredible plays to even be close in the game.
That's the thing. The young Williams kid makes an
Oh,
incredible play to
yeah.
cut the game to 5. And then right then I was,
Yep.
with Heather, and I said, this game's over. And
Well,
they just,
that made it like what, 33-28, I think.
yeah, yes, yeah.
And there was plenty of time.
Oh yeah, a lot of time. Yeah.
And that's when Alabama or Vanderbilt made another fantastic drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did not stop them.
Yeah, yeah. I was texting with the girls were at the Arkansas game. We'll talk about that in a second. And I was texting back and forth, and I said, they're still ahead, but it just feels like they're going to lose. I wouldn't be. And then when they scored to make it 40-28, I was like, this could happen. You might want to turn it on your phone and watch the end of this. So, it was something.
It's a mess.
Yeah, incredible game. We talk about that and how that's just completely unpredictable. Some games that we kind of thought might be an upset. That's Missouri. You picked A&M to beat Missouri, and they got they just got murdered. That was hilarious. And then I think we both kind of thought Arkansas had a great shot to beat Tennessee. We both took Arkansas, and Tennessee is exactly what we suspected they were. They're not very good offensively.
Let me ask you this. They only dropped to number 8.
I don't think Tennessee's a playoff team.
I don't either.
And look, and people are going to say, well, they beat Oklahoma. Look, if Oklahoma would have had Hawkins, they probably would have beat him.
They would have.
And I don't think that's really saying we did much, even if we would have beat them, because I don't think they're very good. We talked about it all the way home, or not all the way, but a lot of the way home. What was Tennessee doing? Why would they run the ball so much? Why aren't they throwing the ball? It's because this quarterback is not very good right now.
It's painfully, to me, it's painfully obvious.
Yeah. They did the same thing in Arkansas. Run. And then when they needed him to throw, he could not make a play.
No. And Arkansas is not a juggernaut on defense either.
See, and the other thing that told me, okay, Tennessee's not very good offensively. Auburn had way more success on our defense. I mean, way more than Tennessee.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there thinking, okay, something's not right here, and then you look at what Tennessee does against Arkansas, and it's like, okay, that makes more sense. Our defense didn't play some monumental game against Tennessee. They basically stopped the run and were able to stop them.
Yeah. It's got to be that. Heupel's play calling is so conservative. I mean, he got up 14-3, and it was like he thought, okay, the defense is going to win the game for us. They did nothing offensively after that. And yeah, he's got a young quarterback, and it's pretty obvious to me he doesn't have much confidence in him at this point. You got to credit Arkansas, though. They played very tough. They lost their starting quarterback. Backup came in, won the ball game for them.
Yep.
Huge win for a team that could very easily be 6-0.
So I want to point that out as well. You talk about Tennessee, and again, I don't want to. I'm not discrediting Arkansas. They played. Arkansas honestly killed Tennessee in that game. If you watched the game, Arkansas tried every which way to lose, and they finally got over the hump and won, and that was huge for them. However, they dominated them. And okay, so Tennessee plays no quarterback basically at all at Oklahoma, and plays. Taylor Green did okay, when he was in there. And then pretty much the backup was deer in the headlights for a long time until the final drive, really. And they still only beat Oklahoma by 10 and lost to Arkansas. Tennessee's got much better teams on the schedule left. They better get it fixed in a hurry, or this thing's going to go sideways for Tennessee.
I think so. We didn't have him rated. We did not have them rated very high in the preseason.
No.
That they're a top 25 team. And then everybody got on the bandwagon when they were running up all those points against nobody.
Yeah.
And now they've faced a couple of teams with a pulse, and they don't have any offense. It doesn't seem to me like, and I haven't listened to anything in Tennessee land this
Yeah.
week. I just wonder what's going on there.
But that was the worst thing, I think, walking out of the stadium in Norman 3 or 4 weeks ago in September. There, you didn't walk out of there going, "Well, they're really damn good." I
Mhm.
didn't. I walked out going, "Well, that team's not great, and they dominated us, so that's not good." Like,
Mhm.
I didn't feel like we played Alabama that night. Is what I'm trying to
Well,
say.
I
So
didn't feel like they dominated us. I didn't. We
no,
couldn't
no,
cash in on mistakes,
true,
and we had 0 chance offensively.
right,
And that was
right,
it. I mean, I thought we went toe to toe with them. We played them a hell of a lot better than we did Auburn, and we won the game against Auburn.
right. That's fair. Yep, yep.
I
So.
mean, so I think Tennessee is very, very suspect at this point.
Don't you feel like Auburn and Tennessee are about the same?
Yes, I
Like,
do.
I feel like Auburn could beat them if they could get out of their own way. That's kind of how I feel about Tennessee right now.
Well,
Like,
while we're talking about teams in the SEC, SEC's a mess. They have
I,
one unbeaten team.
yeah, I still think your Georgias and Alabamas are still up
How
there.
good is Alabama?
Well, I still think they're better than Ole Miss, Tennessee, Missouri, A&M, that cluster,
Well,
Oklahoma,
I'm
Arkansas.
not sure. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
well, we're going to find out.
I don't think their defense is worth a shit.
Well,
Think
we'll
about
find
it.
out.
Georgia ran up a bunch of points on them in the second half. They couldn't stop Georgia in the second half either.
Well, that's true. They hopped all over Georgia, and then Georgia came storming back. I still think Georgia's really good. They took care of Auburn pretty easily.
I think they're second best.
I still think
We're going to find out. We don't know yet on Texas.
yeah.
But it's really weird. Here's the premier conference in the country. Everybody thinks we got one undefeated team. There's only 10 left.
Yeah,
that's unreal. And four of them are big.
There's 12. There's 12.
You might leave them out.
I don't know, but there's 12.
Okay,
I counted them before.
There's 4 in the Big Ten.
Yes. Yeah.
I would have to think that might be the best team in the conference in the country right now, or the
Well,
best conference in the country.
We're got to find out because let's get to the games now because we'll talk about it because there's not going to be 4 Big Ten undefeated teams at the end of this.
No, it's impossible. It's a schedule. Yes.
There might only be a couple. All right, let's get to it. Let's get going here. That's a good segue. And we'll start with Friday night. There is a ranked game on Friday night, and it's Utah and Arizona State at Arizona State. A Jekyll and Hyde type team, Arizona State. But they've done a good job to get to 4-1. I don't think this team's overly talented, but they seem to kind of have a little something. They're tough to beat. Utah, it's a broken record by now. Is Cam Rising playing? Yes, no. Yes, bet him. No, stay away from him, basically.
Absolutely. That's what this all depends on. And are you going to know before the game starts or not? I don't know.
I don't either. So they've become the most unbettable team one way or another.
Yeah. If he plays, here's the other thing. How healthy is he if he plays?
Yeah, that's the other problem.
I mean, 5 points, I think you take Utah. If you think he's healthy and you think they say he's going to play and he's healthy, I think that spread is doable. Yeah. I don't think Vegas thinks he's going to play.
It doesn't look like it to me.
No. And, Arizona State's pesky. I watched them quite a bit last week, and they're playing hard. The coaching staff's doing a great job with them.
Yeah. He
doesn't play. I'm looking at maybe taking them because Arizona State can score.
Yeah, I don't have a play one way or another because it's impossible to do. I do think you go on the road here with a true freshman after suffering that first loss. I could see him getting beat again. I do think one thing in their favor, they had a bye week. Whether it's Cam Rising another weekend healthy or Wilson kind of just getting a little more, I guess, comfortable with the offense and being the starter. I think that will benefit them. I do think Utah's going to win this game, but again, they're an unbettable team at this point.
It is. You just can't.
No. All right, let's keep going. And we're going to find out what Alabama's about and how they rebound. So they will kick off the Saturday slate at 11 a.m. Alabama hosts South Carolina, a team to me that kind of got exposed last week. I was skeptical about the just how good South Carolina was. Are they better than they usually are? Are they about the same? I think they're about the same. I think they're a 6-6 type team. Alabama gets 21 points. To me, that's more than manageable if Alabama is how they usually are.
I agree. but if so,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think South Carolina choked. There were some questionable coaching decisions in that game as well.
Mhm.
It didn't make any difference. They got thumped. Ole Miss, one of the winners of the week for me is Ole Miss. The way they bounced back and went up
Yes.
there and just thrashed them.
Played
And
great.
Ole Miss has got a good defense.
Mhm.
They didn't lose that game to Kentucky because their defense played poorly.
Yeah.
They lost that game because their offense didn't play very well. So I think they've got a little bit. I think Ole Miss is not as good offensively as people think, but their defense is really good. South Carolina is South Carolina. I don't know how Alabama reacts. I would think they would come out blazing and smoke them, but I don't know. If I'm going to bet it, I take Alabama to cover because I think they're going to come out with fire in their eyes. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
It's just that spread's a little dicey, but I saw South Carolina last week and I was not impressed at all.
Yeah, I'm taking Alabama in this game. I think they're going to come out and pound them, and the old Alabama would. I know that much. This is the get right game, and you're hosting a team that's they're not. South Carolina's not a horrible football team, but they're not great. I think Bama gets them pretty easy in this one. I'm taking the points in Alabama. Clemson goes back on the road now. They've kind of gotten right. They really had a nice 4-game little win streak here. Hadn't played a lot, but they've looked good doing it. They've kind of been convincing. They're 20-point favorites on the road against Wake Forest. This is a not very good Wake Forest team that did get a nice win last week, though.
Mhm.
What do you think about this one?
Well, is this kind of a trap game? Is this kind of something they may not get ready for? They're coming. I know Florida State's awful, but they played them last week. It's still kind of, even though they're bad, it's still Florida State.
Yeah.
You beat them. They were ready for that game, and now they're going on the road. Wake is, they're not very good. They're pretty well coached though, and they got, like you say, got a big game, big win last week. They needed it. 20 is a lot anytime for Clemson. I think I'm going to stay away from this one because I have a feeling that Wake's going to play them a little bit closer than 20.
Yeah, Rob's bringing it up. The Wake Clemson game has been tough. Went to overtime in 22. I know it was close last year, or it was 21 or 23. It was really close. The one thing I would say though, I don't think this version of Wake Forest is like very good. Honestly, like I don't think they're not as good as those teams the last couple of years.
They had a guy by the name of Sam Hartman that was the quarterback.
That helped in 22 for sure. They should have won that game that year.
Sure.
I'm going to take Clemson. I think they're superior to Wake Forest this year. I just don't think this is a very good version of Wake. So give me Clemson.
I think Clemson's the best team in the ACC.
Well, yeah, I think so too. Alabama or not Alabama, excuse me, Miami might have a say in it, but they really should have had a couple losses, at least one by now. So I think you're probably right about that. Let's keep it rolling here. We talked about this game in the preseason, how weird this is.
Yeah.
Missouri goes on the road to take on UMass. Yes, that's right. Missouri will be at UMass in a weird situation here. Missouri, honestly, they about got exposed 3 or 4 weeks in a row before they actually did get exposed last week. They were murdered against Texas A&M. It was a killing. But Missouri, 27.5-point favorites here. UMass is 1-5. Is this a bounce back? And is Missouri capable of just going up there and destroying UMass?
Well, UMass is awful.
That's the thing.
So what if they do beat them 49-0? Who cares? It's not a bounce back. It's what you should do.
Yeah.
Missouri was just dreadful. They were never in the game
from the second it kicked off to the second it ended.
No, they were. I think didn't they have 2 weeks to get ready? I think they did.
Yeah. They were. Well, did they? I can't remember when their bye.
They did. I think they had a bye week after Vanderbilt.
You're right. Yep.
Because we were at OU the day they played Vanderbilt.
Yes, you're right. Yep.
So this is a game that they should win and easy. I'm not like you. I guess they just let's play a road game. Might as well play somebody we can drub. That's the only thing I think. One other thing I want to bring up, I heard the guys talking about it. 41-7 late in the game. They kick a field goal.
Yeah.
What is? I mean, is that is that something? Just don't even bring it up. Is it just nitpicking, or is that weird that they didn't go for a touchdown? I mean, what? It doesn't make any difference whether it's a touchdown or a field goal. Either one. It's kind of a bad look, I think, to kick.
I thought that was really, really odd that they did
Yeah.
that. Not, and again, I don't know what it means, but
I don't either.
it's kind of soft. It's kind of
It,
soft.
it is. Go ahead
Yeah.
and get as many points as you can. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That was strange. I thought. No,
No,
he's kind of a strange guy anyway.
yeah. I do look at it and go, okay, do you think UMass is as good as like a Buffalo, let's say?
No.
I don't think so. Well, they beat Buffalo 38-0. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think the level of the opponent will carry Missouri here. I think if you want to bet against Missouri, I think the game coming up, they have Auburn after this. And we talked about it. Auburn's not good, but they're not as bad as the record. That might be a game where Missouri gets too many points and you take the other side.
Yeah.
But in this
It'll be interesting to see how Missouri reacts to that loss because they had high aspirations, and they were one of these SEC teams that if it comes down to the end and you have 2 losses, they're not going to get in probably.
Yeah,
because of the reputation and their schedule they play is not as strong.
I was going to say the reputation's part of it for sure, but the schedule is a big part of it. This is not a strong SEC schedule. No. And listen, I wouldn't say almost lost, but Boston College was way too competitive of a game. And then Vanderbilt had them.
They did almost lose that one.
Yeah. So this is not a good team right now. Now, could they wake up? That's possible for sure.
Sure.
All right, let's go to the big one. Let's go to 2:30 slate now, and it's down in Dallas once again at the Cotton Bowl, State Fair, Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Big time favorite in this game. That is rare that you see it. Texas is a 14.5-point favorite. I will remind you, Texas was a 7-point favorite last year, and they lost the game. But this is a different animal. 14.5. All right, Papa Dude, that's a lot of points. I'll start with that.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time Texas was 14.5-point favorites. I think Oklahoma has been a few times.
Yes.
I like that. There's several things I like. Number one, Texas, number one in the country. I like that. 14.5, I like that. I don't know if yours is going to play or not. I haven't heard for sure yet.
Well, they say he's likely to play.
Yeah. Then one site I saw said he wasn't.
But really?
Yeah, but he hadn't played in a while.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do too.
If I have my choice in this game, I want to be the underdog. Because the favorite struggles sometimes. Yep. That's all the good things I can think of. I don't have time to list all the bad things. So I was telling somebody today, they were going over, it's going to be tough, blah, blah, blah. And I said, the only thing is this game, it's like no other. It's just, we just don't have any playmakers. Except the quarterback, and he's a freshman. It's all going to depend on turnovers like it always does, momentum. But normally, you look through the years, the team that can run the ball usually wins this game.
Well, that's the key to the whole game right there.
We can't run the ball, and we're not shown we can run the ball at all.
Yep.
So I don't know what thing they could possibly cook up in 2 weeks to make us so much better. Texas, in my opinion, is going to have to help us. We're going to have to score a couple of touchdowns off our defense, maybe a pick six, maybe set up a score. Our defense is going to have to play unbelievably well. And we're going to have to make a big play or two to have a chance, in my opinion. So I would not bet Texas plus minus 14.5 because that's just too big a spread in this game. But I could see it being real close going into the middle of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter. They score a couple of late touchdowns because we just can't move the ball and hang in there.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think is exactly what you laid out. I'm taking Oklahoma plus 14.5. You do not lay that kind of point spread in this game. I'm telling you right now, this is when you are a favorite, and trust me when I say this, we've been a favorite a lot more than we've been an underdog in the last 25 years going down there. When you're the favorite, that shit is tough. It is tough to go down there as a big favorite and win. And I think the big positive for us is I do think Oklahoma is by far the best team they've played yet, talking about Texas. And I think if we could somehow get a jump on them early before they kind of adjust to the speed of the other team that they finally are playing, a team with a pulse, that could be in our favor. I think that was in our favor against Tennessee for a while, and we couldn't take advantage of it.
No, we couldn't score when we had to.
Right, but
breaks.
We might be able to score a little bit better in this game. The problem is it's a 4-quarter game, and eventually they will stop us, and we will not be able to move the ball enough, and Texas will win the game.
Well, and this is I hate like hell to say this, but Texas is good. This is This team is sound. I mean,
well, we don't know the level of how good they are, but we know they're very good.
They're very good, and they're balanced, and they've got a lot of stuff going for them. They're not as good at running back as they have been.
So a couple of things that you gotta look for. By the way, Rob says only one game in the last 10 has been decided by 8 or more, and that was a game where Oklahoma had no quarterback. Literally, they did not have a quarterback. Dillon Gabriel was hurt. He did not play in the game. Oklahoma lost 49-0. They had no chance in that game going into it. There was no way they were going to keep it close. So when you take that outlier out, which you can't, but still that shows you, how it could be. The big thing, this is the damnedest thing, and I don't really know how to explain it. The team that wins the rushing battle wins the game. That is how this game is. And I remember having these same conversations with you last year. Okay, to win the game, you got to run better than Texas. How are we going to do that? Oklahoma did it, and they did it because Dillon Gabriel, they had a package for Gabriel where it was him running the ball. They hadn't done it all year, and Gabriel ran all over Texas, and OU outrushed him. It's got to be that kind of thing. We know the running backs aren't going to be able to do it. You're asking a true freshman. He's going to have to do it. Michael Hawks is going to have to make a lot of plays with his feet if we're going to win the rushing battle.
Yeah. And over the years in this game, we've seen it on both sides, but I think Texas might do it a little bit more than we do. If we're going to win, they cannot block a punt.
Yeah.
They've done that before.
Oh, yeah.
They can't.
They did it last year, and we still beat them. We let them block a punt last year, and they still beat them. So.
Can't run a kickoff back.
No.
Or have a great punt return.
Yep.
You can't pick up a fumble and run it in. You got to play as clean a game as you possibly can play.
All the intangibles have to go Oklahoma's way this year. They have to. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than without Gabriel a couple of years ago, this is the least optimistic I've been, simply because so many things I think have to go our way. But this game is like no other.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure Alabama and Auburn's that way. But this game, unless you've been to it, and I think you have to go more than once.
Yeah.
To really grasp it and to see the emotion and the noise and just the pageantry and everything, the hatred and everything that's in it. It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever been to.
Yep.
And 3 of the last 4 games have been the most incredible games. OU makes a great comeback like 4 years ago. Way behind, pulls it out at about the last play of the game.
Yep.
And then we have the 4 overtime game.
Yep.
That I lost 25 pounds at. I wasn't at that game. Were you at that one? Did we both miss that one?
That was the COVID year, so nobody was at that game hardly. Yeah.
Right. And then there came the blowout, and then OU winning it right at the last season.
Yep.
So I hope it's that kind of game again. But it's just it's a game like I've never been to. It's unless you've been, you just don't get it. You just don't.
Yeah, and it is a game where it's odd when you kind of lose your momentum. It's really hard to get it back, and it's weird in that sense. Like I remember one year we went down there when Trevor Knight was quarterback, and we weren't very good, but we were a lot better than them. And it was a miracle we won the game that year. And it's just like the whole game, you just felt like, gosh,
Yeah.
Texas is doing things that we haven't seen them do, and they're just killing us, you know? And I remember, the year Baker Mayfield, his first year at OU. OU was a really good team. They had went to Tennessee and won, and they were playing great. Texas was awful, and I think the spread. Yeah, OU made the playoff. Yeah. Yes, and they lost to Clemson in a pretty competitive game in the semis, but the spread was probably about similar to what this is now, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is gonna be so fun. We're going down and kill them."
Yeah.
Texas killed Oklahoma. Destroyed Oklahoma. One year we went down there. We had beaten Notre Dame. We were undefeated, ranked in the top 10. Texas wasn't ranked. They destroyed Oklahoma. So
it's weird.
We've seen OU do that to Texas a time or two where you're going, how did we win that game? That's incredible. But that's the game, and that's how that thing goes. Anything can happen, but at the end of the day, you do have to look at it and go, Oklahoma can't score enough to win this game. So you have to think Texas is going to win, but 14 and a half, it's too many.
It's too many.
Yeah, it's too many. All right, let's keep going. Oh, listen, we didn't even talk about this. This made my life. First, we'll just shout out to Minnesota and Marcus Major, former OU player, beating Lincoln Riley last week up there as a tough game, and Minnesota gets it done. They beat USC. USC's reeling. They're now 3-2. They get Penn State coming in to their house, so they finally get one of these bigger games at home after going to Michigan and Minnesota and not being able to stand up to those teams who aren't any good. Now, can they beat Penn State? Can they? Will being at home, will the magic turn? Can USC beat Penn State this weekend? Penn State only a 5.5-point favorite.
Yeah. Okay, so what kind of teams have handled them? Michigan, physical. Minnesota, physical.
Yep.
Neither one of them can throw the ball much.
Yep.
What's Penn State? Physical. Yeah. Only they're a little better.
Yeah.
They got a little bit more of an offense. Michigan can only run the ball, and one might say Minnesota can only run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
USC going to Minnesota is a big game. No, they should have drilled them. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
The line of scrimmage are a huge advantage. 5.5. I'm betting Penn State all day if they're ready to go.
Here's the deal. Minnesota's not very good.
No.
Michigan is not very good.
No.
Penn State is better than those two teams.
Penn State is good.
Well,
they're solid.
I want Kevin to listen to this, okay? Because if Penn State doesn't go out there and beat them, I'm deleting your number, buddy. It's over between you and I. It's over between you and I if Penn State doesn't go out there and beat USC. They better beat them. I'm going to be really pissed if they don't.
Well, no, it's not Kevin's fault.
No, it is. You don't be texting me if they get beat. If Penn State gets beat, I don't hear it.
If he's texting you and giving you crap, then that's different.
No, don't be texting me. Hey, he's a big Penn State guy. He thinks they're going to go to the playoff. You better not lose this game. That's all.
No, but you can't go to the playoffs and lose this game.
I think they'll bully him. I think Penn State wins this game. I do. I would be, going out this right here, the Big Ten teams going across the country. We're seeing with the ACC teams going across the country. It's a thing.
It is.
That's my worry. What happens if USC jumps on them and gets them behind? That's not good for Penn State. They need to kind of get the lead from the jump to be able to play their style of game. So that's a little worrisome. But
okay. Let's say Penn State was playing Michigan or Minnesota. Would they be favored more than 5.5 against those two teams?
Minnesota, yes.
Maybe not Michigan.
Yeah, just because of Michigan's name. Yeah.
And that's why it's 5.5 against USC.
Yeah.
It's their name.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything that tells me that USC is physical enough to beat them.
Kevin, Penn State's ran a vanilla offense since you've been born. So that's not just last week. That's every week. But that vanilla offense should be able to move the ball.
USC lost to a vanilla offense against Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, look.
They threw 10 passes.
you have to go win the game. And even if it's a struggle, but you win 16-13 or 24-20. If you don't cover, it doesn't matter. You just have to go win it.
Exactly.
They should beat them. And
because they're a name. Go win any way you can because USC's a name.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to be an easy game. Don't think it's going to be easy, but you got to beat them, and I think they will. I just think they're better than them. At the end of the day, this USC team, they're not any good. Tell me that they are, because they're not. They played LSU, and everybody thought it was a great win, and LSU's not very good. Okay, then they beat a couple teams that weren't any good, and then the two teams they played that are adequate football teams, they lost both of them.
Yep. I don't think Minnesota is an adequate football team.
They're terrible, and they're
tough.
I was watching that game. It's like, how are you losing to them? They like I said, they're Iowa basically. Don't you? Yeah. Minnesota and Iowa. That's who they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're identical. They're clones.
You better win. All right, let's go. Stanford and Notre Dame. Notre Dame 23.5-point favorites. Notre Dame's looked pretty good since that loss, shocking loss, I should say, to Northern Illinois. Also, Notre Dame beating A&M. That looks better now since A&M's kind of getting better. They look, better. But now they get Stanford. It's a lot of points. That's the only problem with Notre Dame. I don't think they're on upset alert, but it is a lot of points.
No, because Stanford, not very good.
Okay.
It's hard for Notre Dame to cover 23.5. I'm with you. I could see 35-10 though, and that's a cover.
Yep.
If I was I can't take Stanford in the points. They're not good. Virginia Tech rolled them coming off a tough loss. They went out there and rolled them, and that surprised me a little bit. So I think if I had to bet it, I'd take Notre Dame in the points.
I'm with you on that one. All right, California and Pittsburgh, another weird one here. California, man, they've got to be just hurting after blowing that game. And I'll give California a ton of credit. What a scene. They did a great job with game day. They had that game won. They lost it. Questionable calls, but still you lost. Now you got to go all the way back, pretty much to the east, or East Coast, but east for sure, to play Pitt, who's a 5-0 team. I was shocked. Pitt's only a 3-point favorite in this game. What do you think?
Well, they haven't played hardly anybody, but they are 5-0. I'm with you. I just can't see California coming all the way across and being ready to play, because I don't think they're that good. And they sure played well Saturday, though.
Yeah.
God, it's got to take it all out of you. It's got to. And then you got to get on a plane and come across and play a decent team. Give me Pitt. Plus the points. I think they cover this one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm with you. I'm going to take Pitt in this game. I felt kind of bad for California. And I was with Kevin. I went to bed because I thought, well, shit, they got this. And I woke up and I was messing around. I said, no, I'll check that score, see what it ended up. Oh, my God. Miami came back and won.
I was shocked too. Yep.
Man. So, oh, well. All right. We're both on Pitt there. Purdue, they're horrific. God, I watched a little bit of them. They are so bad. They go to Illinois this weekend. Illinois, 19-point favorite. That's a lot of points for Illinois. I'll say that. But what do you think about this one?
Well, they lost 52-6 to Wisconsin.
I know. I have to take Illinois, but it's still
I've got to take them. Purdue just showed nothing. They got stomped. And Wisconsin's can argue Illinois better than Wisconsin.
Yeah. And
they had a week off. I think they're going to kill them. I like Illinois to cover.
Yeah, I think Illinois will bounce back from that loss and do pretty well in that one. All right. Here's a team that I don't know. Can't figure them out. Arizona. They're now 3-2. They have lost a couple of ones that they just look terrible. They've looked good in some other games. They go on the road this weekend to take on your boys, BYU. BYU up to 5-0, up to number 14. They're 4.5-point favorites. I get it, because Arizona, I don't know what's going to happen with them, but what do you think about this game?
Well, in a game like this, you take the team that's been the most consistent, I think, and they're at home.
Yeah.
And, Arizona 2 weeks ago goes and beats Utah, and you're thinking, okay, they were pretty highly regarded coming into the year, kind of stumbled around a little bit, didn't play real great, goes and beats Utah on the road, and then comes home and gets beat Tech, I think it was, Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech.
Which they're not bad, but still, Got to win that game at home. Then you got to bounce back and go play a BYU team that's getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
Give me the Cougs to cover this one.
Kevin said he still doesn't like BYU, but they just keep winning, and they're not flashy, that's for sure. But man, they're tough, and I think their toughness will win over the kind of the flash, I guess, of Arizona. I can't figure Arizona out. When you figure them out, let me know. Yeah, but
No, I got to take BYU.
Yeah, I do too. All right, let's keep it going here. Mississippi State takes on Georgia. Georgia's a 34-point favorite this week. Mississippi State, I think they are the worst in the SEC. They're not good. I think Georgia covers this easily, to be honest with you. What about you?
Yeah, I do too. It's just, are they just going to horse around?
Yeah.
Are they going to take them serious?
Right.
You know, that's all it amounts. That's all this one amounts to.
Yep.
34, 56-7. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say something like that.
52-10, something like that.
I think it could. Yeah, either one of those could happen. Yep. Florida taking on Tennessee this weekend. Of course, Tennessee coming off of that big loss at Arkansas. Florida, they had a pretty nice win, believe it or not, against Central Florida. Maybe Central Florida is not very good, but it was still a nice win for Florida. They're getting 15.5. That's a big spread here. Who do you like in Knoxville this weekend?
No, that one's in Jacksonville, isn't it? No. That's the Florida-Georgia game.
Yeah.
15.5 is because it's in Knoxville. And I think.
Yeah.
And Tennessee's still getting a lot of respect. I watched a lot of that Florida game because I had them against Central Florida.
Yeah.
And so I watched a lot of it. I thought they played really, really well. God, I wish that game was in Florida. I don't like Tennessee. I just don't.
No.
I just don't know if Florida's good enough. But hey, Arkansas was. Florida's probably got as good athletes.
I would think.
If I was going to bet it, I'd take Florida in the points because this is a big rivalry too.
I'm 100% taking Florida in this game. Give me the Gators plus 15.5, I should say. Yeah, I'll take the points. And look, if we get beat, you get beat. But I think that was a big win for Florida. Obviously, we don't have to tell anybody this is a huge rivalry, and I think they'll be ready to give them everything they got. I think they keep it close. So, all right, game of the week, and this is where College Game Day will be this week, and no stranger to College Game Day, Eugene, Oregon. Ohio State and Oregon, both teams 5-0. Ohio State number 2, Oregon number 3. Ohio State, a 3-point favorite on the road in Eugene. This is a hell of a game. Who you got?
Yep. I went round and round on this one, and it's all going to come down to what I said on our first show of the year. I don't trust Will Howard.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him against Iowa last week, and Iowa's the same old Iowa. They play as hard as they can play defensively, and then they just run out of gas because they can't do anything offensively.
Mm-hmm.
And they stopped Ohio State. For the first half, they stopped them.
Yep.
I think it was 7-3 with like 3 minutes left in the half.
Yep.
And then they couldn't do anything offensively, and their defense gave in. So I'm going to go with Oregon, especially as the dogs, because I picked them in the preseason to beat them, because I'm not sold on Will Howard. And the one thing I like about Oregon this year, they're damn good on defense. They're pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they can control them. I think they're better coached, and I like them at home. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to take Oregon +3.
I'm taking Oregon +3 as well. I think it's a one-score game. I could see us losing it because Ohio State might, be able to beat them by a touchdown. But I do think it's going to be a one-score game. I am 100% with Kevin. He says he likes the over here. I like it as well. I think 53.5 is going to go over. We talk about this a lot. When Georgia and Alabama play, people think defense, maybe not so much this year, but going into that game, people think defense. It's like, yeah, those offenses are really good too. And you see when Ohio State and Michigan plays, it always goes over. It's kind of the same here. I think Oregon, Ohio State, this thing's going to go over. Give me Oregon +3. I'm with you on that. I think they're being devalued a little bit. I've watched Oregon a lot. They've shot themselves in the foot a lot this year. A lot of weird turnovers. They're going to have to not do that. That's for sure.
Right.
But if they can stay away from those, I think they're going to win. So, yep, I like Oregon in this game. All right, let's keep going. Ole Miss at LSU. Night game down in Baton Rouge. I've been told that that's tough to go win. We'll see if Ole Miss can do it here. Ole Miss is a 3.5-point favorite in this game. What do you think about this one? This is a good one.
I think it's very true that it's tough to go to Baton Rouge on a Saturday night and win.
Yeah.
I'm going LSU plus 3.5. I don't know how good they are, but I have no faith in Ole Miss, even though they did go beat South Carolina when I thought they'd win, but I thought it'd be closer than that. I still haven't seen a whole lot of offense out of them. LSU can move the ball. This is a game LSU is going to get right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the Bayou Bengals. I hate them, but I'm taking them, especially as underdogs.
My bold take of the show today will be I think Ole Miss wins this by double digits.
Oh, my God.
I really do not like this LSU team. I don't think they're very good. That's where I'm at.
Oh, I've heard it all.
I listen, I really don't think LSU is very good. And I think Mississippi is decent. So I really think Ole Miss goes in and stomps them. I really, truly do. That could be a really dumb statement about 9 o'clock, but I don't think LSU is very good. So give me.
What do you think about that total? If it goes over 63.5, I like LSU. I think it has to stay under that.
I don't know.
Ole Miss has scored 44 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair.
I watched them against Kentucky. They can do shit.
I think Kentucky's better than LSU.
I don't know about that.
I don't think
find out. That's for sure.
I don't think they're very good.
Well, then you got to go with the Rebels.
My thing, it's like, okay, I get like, okay, yeah, it is tough to go win there at night and all that, but point to a game and you go, okay, yeah, LSU's good. Point to one. I don't see it. They lost to a team that's not good to start the year, but it's like, okay, maybe it was just you slipped up. Okay, you only beat South Carolina by 3 and you were behind most of that game. UCLA, they beat by 17. UCLA is horrible.
They are.
South Alabama, 42-10, and Nichols, they beat 44-21. I don't care about either one of those games.
No.
They played 3 teams that have it. Well, I will even say 2 teams that have a pulse. They lost to 1 by 7. They beat 1 by 3. And then they played a real shitty team and only won by 17. I don't think they're very good.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with it. It's not for me so much of, I think Ole Miss is great. I just think LSU's not very good. So we'll see, though. We'll see what happens. All right, let's keep it going here. Iowa State goes on the road to take on West Virginia next in this one. Iowa State, a 3-point favorite. West Virginia dominates Oklahoma State. That was funny. Iowa State just keeps winning. They're not pretty, but they keep winning. Are they on upset alert this week?
Well, I just now discovered the 2 teams I left off. I did not put the 2 teams down that are undefeated in the Big 12.
Well,
and this is one of them. Which I knew they were. I've got it written down right here. I just didn't put it down in my list. So, Iowa State's been very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I watched West Virginia last week. They look great, but my God, I don't know what's wrong with Oklahoma State. They're the worst I've seen, and worst Oklahoma State team I've seen since 2000, 2001. It's bad.
Yep.
Upset City. I would be scared to death of this if I was a Cyclone fan.
Yep.
West Virginia's pretty good. They're not bad. I'm taking the Mountaineers to pull off an upset.
I think they do it too. And I think it's more of ISU's just not, they're good. They're not great. That's a tough environment. I think West Virginia's going to beat them. I'm with you on that one. I took West Virginia as well. By the way, real quick, breaking news, the Tigers have defeated the Guardians. The Tigers win 3-0. They are now 1 game away from the AL finals. So
best bet of the day, baby. Got it.
Oh, you bet the Tigers. Great. That is great. Yeah. 3-0 victory. They had a variety of pitchers come in there and get the job done.
They're masters at that.
What the Tigers have done is unbelievable. We'll talk about it at the end, but that's unbelievable.
They're masters of this bullpen thing.
Yep.
Is that
They
going to
are.
be the new trend we're going to see now? That you start throwing out 8 guys?
Well, I don't think it's new. That happens. Just some teams are better than others at it.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
You
All
better
right.
have more guys.
2 more to go here. Late night games. Kansas State and Colorado. Don't look now. Colorado's 4-1. They've had a
Right.
couple of nice wins, actually.
Yeah.
They take on K-State. I think they're decent, but they had a bad loss earlier in the year. But they're 4-1 as well. K-State a 4.5-point favorite on the road at night against Colorado. Who you got in this one?
Well, I'm rooting my ass off for Kansas State for one reason. If they lose this game, I am going to have to brag on Dion.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. And it's nothing against Dion, nothing. I'm going to have to eat my words.
They look dead after
They
2
did.
games. I thought they're not any better, but they've been better after
They
that.
have. And they should have lost to Baylor, and we wouldn't be thinking about it as much.
True.
But I can't remember who they came back and beat the next week.
Central Florida.
Yeah, and on the road.
Beat the shit out of them. Yeah.
This is a disciplined football team that's coming in there. But they lost to BYU, and they wasn't even close. But they didn't bounce. That's kind of what K-State does.
Yep.
Give me the Wildcats. I think they cover this.
I think the Wildcats will beat them on the line of scrimmage enough. So give me K-State, and I'm with you. I think they're going to.
Colorado's disciplined enough to stop them.
Yeah, I don't think so. Give me K-State as well. Finally, Boise State goes on the road to Hawaii. So if you want to stay up real late and watch this one, you can. Boise State, they look good again, but they're not. Utah State wasn't much, but now they get this game at Hawaii. Hawaii's not much either. If they're focused, I think Boise wins this pretty easy. But what about you?
Yes. Last week we were talking about, I don't take big point spreads very often, but I did Boise.
Yep.
And I think it was 27 and a half, something like that. And I made the comment, I know they're going to score enough, but I didn't know whether they were going to hold them enough. And I'll be darned, that thing was nip and tuck on the point spread.
Yeah.
Because Utah State kept scoring.
Mm-hmm.
I think it ended up 62-30, something like that. Hawaii's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this point spread is lower. And I guess it's because they're going to the islands and you're not focused sometimes when you go over there. And it's a distraction, and it's like a vacation. And if I was going to go to Hawaii, I think I would take them 3 or 4 days ahead of time just to play around for a little bit, get that out of your system. I think I'm going to take Boise again to cover that.
Yeah, Hawaii, just real quick on them. They're not a horrible team. They did lose to UCLA, and I mean, looking back, you had to win that game. They didn't do it. They lost the game at Sam Houston. They're not bad. And then they lost a close game at San Diego State. So, I mean, they're not awful, but Boise, I think Boise's really good.
Oh, hey, gee, offensively they are.
Yeah. Yeah. So give me Boise. I'm with you in this one. All right. Any other college football games you want to talk about?
A couple. No, it's kind of I think I'm going to do more of the top 25 or best bets this week because these the games I just don't see a whole lot.
Okay.
Big 12, Cincinnati goes on the road to play Central Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Central Florida's a 3-point favorite. Are they any good?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't either. Since he's not bad, they blew a game they should have won. So if they're focused, I think they can cover that. In the ACC, I haven't seen Dennis on here today. His Louisville Cardinals, 7-point favorites at Virginia. Louisville's coming off 2 pretty tough. Now it's 7.5. They're coming off 2 pretty tough losses.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, and then you lose at home to SMU. By the way, SMU, we're kind of forgetting about them. They're pretty dang good also. They've figured out their problems.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, I could see Louisville being flat in this game. It's a huge game for Virginia. They're 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that goes up maybe to 8.5, and I'm taking Virginia in that one.
Okay.
And then go to the SEC because this one is fascinating to me.
Okay. All right. Who you got?
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah, this is a fascinating game for sure.
It's down to 13.5. It was 14.
Yeah.
Okay. How in the hell can Vanderbilt be ready?
I don't know.
I don't either. But Kentucky can't score a lot. And Kentucky's defense, we've been bragging on it. I tell you what, this offense of Vanderbilt's is dang tough to stop.
It's tough to stop, but that defense is damn good.
They are, but all that misdirection and all that stuff kind of slows down a defense sometimes.
It does. Yep.
This one, I want to take Kentucky really bad because I just can't see Vandy doing this 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
But then again, I watched Vanderbilt and I saw him gash Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But this is really an interesting game to me, and I just wanted to mention it because I think this could be a dandy. I do.
I sure wouldn't bet it one way or another.
I don't think Kentucky can score enough to cover it. I just
no, I don't either. And look, I mean, if you take off the Vanderbilt name and you just look at what they've done, now they did had a horrible loss. Was that Georgia State or Georgia Southern that beat them?
Georgia State.
Yeah, and that's a terrible loss. But you look at the other games, they've been damn good. I mean, this is a team that they beat Virginia Tech, Alcorn State. Forget about that.
Yeah.
Then, they do lose that game to Georgia State, which was bad. It took overtime for Missouri to beat them, and that was at Missouri.
That's a good game.
And then you beat Alabama. I mean,
and then
this shouldn't be a 13.5-point spread based on that.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to stay away from it too because I just am scared.
In a lot of ways, these two teams are similar because they both have a loss that they shouldn't have lost, which South Carolina for Kentucky and then Georgia State. And then their other loss was damn close. Kentucky almost beats Georgia. Vanderbilt almost beats Missouri. And then they both have the big wins, Vanderbilt with Alabama and Kentucky with Ole Miss. So they're very similar. I mean, you would think, like, logic tells me this is like a 7-point game one way or the other.
It's going to be a good game. I'll tell you that.
I would take Vandy, but I'm with you, though. The emotional thing is
I don't know.
Going to be shaky.
Mountain West is an insignificant game, but it's kind of interesting. San Diego State is god-awful. They're terrible. And Wyoming, it's at Wyoming.
Yeah.
They're
bad, too.
Yeah, but they won the last week, and they played I think it was, who was it? Somebody they beat Air Force, and they're terrible.
Air Force.
And the week before, I think they played BYU maybe or somebody, and they played really good. They did. They lost, but they played. I can't remember. It wasn't BYU, but it was somebody has a pulse. They played pretty good.
Yeah, though they played BYU. They lost by 20.
Okay.
But their schedule is they lost to Arizona State, they lost to Idaho, they lost to BYU, they lost at North Texas, and then they beat Air Force.
Right. I don't like San Diego State going on the road and beating anybody. So that's just a 2-point, now 2.5, kind of like Wyoming. And that does it. So
Rob's asking about one more. We'll throw it up on the Fresno State, Washington State. Washington State's a 3.5-point favorite on the road against Fresno. I have no idea what's going to happen in that game, to be completely honest.
Fresno just got slaughtered at UNLV.
Yeah, I don't think Fresno's very good.
Well, neither.
Yeah.
Washington State's decent.
They're okay.
It was just one of those games, though, that you just don't know. And I looked at that too, Rob. I did. I thought, that sounds fishy to me. I think they should cover more. I think they should be more than that favored. If you look at that one below there too, Oregon State only 3 over Nevada.
I don't think the odds makers know what to do with Oregon State and Washington State.
I don't think they do either because they're not in the conference, and I don't think they can figure them out. So
yeah.
I think they're getting undervalued, though.
I do too. I think both of them will win, but I don't trust. I think I trust Oregon State to go to Nevada.
Yeah.
So
Nevada lost a heartbreaker at San Jose State last week. State can be a little flat. So anyway, it's going to be another great week. That's for sure.
It is. All right. Speaking of great weeks, let's go to the NFL now, where we will have some fun. And we will go Thursday night is where we'll start it off. The 49ers and the Seahawks. 49ers are a 3.5-point favorites as they go on the road to take on the Seahawks. All right. Here we go. What do you got?
What the hell is wrong with the 49ers?
Yeah, they're bad.
They blew that game with the Cardinals.
Yep.
I took the under in that game. It was 48.5.
It
was like 23 to 10 at the half or close
Yeah.
to that. I thought, I'm not getting this.
Yeah.
Ended up 24-23. 49er never scored again.
Incredible.
And I lucked that one out. But I don't know what's wrong with them. They need McCaffrey back, that's for sure. They've got a lot of injuries. They had to have that game last week, and they didn't get it. And then you look at Seattle, they let the Giants beat them in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Niners 3.5. Are they going to? This one to me is all about: are they going to bust out of it or not? If they lose this one, they're 2-4.
Yeah.
And that's hard to crawl out of because guess who they got next week? The Chiefs.
Yep.
This is a must-win for them.
They have to win this game.
Can they right the ship?
Yep.
Seattle's a tough place to play. I'm taking them.
I'll take San Francisco. I don't have any confidence in it.
That's what I mean. I'm taking San Francisco.
Yeah. I'll take them, but I don't know.
Oh, I'm not betting them.
They're better than Seattle.
They
I
are.
know that, but
They're just struggling.
all right. Well, let's go from another really easy game to pick here. We're in London for the second straight week. We're going to go the Jaguars and the Bears over here in London. The Bears are 2.5-point favorites. Gosh, the Jaguars did win. That's good news. The Bears, they're pretty bad, but
a lot of points though this last week.
Yeah, they kind of got better. Who do you like?
Well, this is home away from home for Jacksonville.
Yeah, they play better here than they do in their actual home.
They are. They were 2-0 there last year. They were rolling when they left London and hit the skids when they got back home.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't getting up at 8:30. I'm not turning on TV at 8:30 for this.
No,
that's for sure.
No.
I like the Bears.
I'll take the Jaguars.
Okay.
How about that? All right, let's keep going. Cardinals, like I said, they were the benefit of the 49ers meltdown. They get a win. They take on the Packers in Green Bay, and Green Bay is a 5-point favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. Who you got here?
Big win for Green Bay. Went to L.A.
Yep.
Stadium holds 70,000. There was 60,000 there for Green Bay.
It was bad. Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
You know, the Rams need to address that somehow. I mean, they don't ever play a home game.
Chargers are the same. I don't know what you do.
You don't let LA have a franchise. That's what you do.
Well, they tried that. They tried that.
I don't. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's bad.
I mean, it'd be different if you were just god awful, and the Rams are not very good, but they have been okay. They won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Anyway, I mean, when that game was going down towards the end and the Rams had the ball, the Green Bay crowd was so loud that it was they were in Lambeau. It was just unreal. 5 point for the Packers. I think this will be a good game. I'm going one score game, 20-13 for the Packers.
All right. So it's going to be 24-21 for the Packers. So give me Arizona to win, to cover the spread.
Right. Oh, this is a good game.
Colts and the Titans, 2 disasters. It's in Tennessee. Tennessee's a 1-point favorite. I don't know. I don't know what the Colts' problem is. I really don't. They moved the ball great and they still got beat. I guess the Colts, but I don't know.
That's who I would take, but I'm not betting it. These are 2 horrible teams. You don't bet a horrible team.
Yeah, it's bad. This is so bad.
Yep.
I'll take the Colts. We'll both take them. Oh, great. That sounds fun. All right, Texans and the Patriots next. The Texans are a 7-point favorite as they go on the road to take on New England. Why? Like Drake May is going to play quarterback for the Patriots. They are horrible. Well, I mean, the Texans. I don't know. I guess maybe they're not. If they're not ready to play, maybe they lose. I don't know.
Long trip, coming off a huge win over Buffalo.
Maybe the sandwich
really
game.
Good win.
Yeah,
you got to take Houston. You got to with a rookie quarterback going, and New England had to win last week. They had Miami. My God, Miami was awful. And
so bad.
They blew it.
Yeah,
they got to be flat. Give me Houston.
All right, we're both going Houston. Speaking of blowing it, my God, Tampa Bay, they should be shot for losing to Atlanta. They had that game won. They totally blew it.
Yeah.
Now they go on the road to take on the Saints. The Saints are horrific. And by the way, Spencer Rattler will be making the start for the Saints. Derek
Well,
Carr out. Spencer Rattler versus Baker Mayfield in New Orleans. Can't get any better than that, right? Who you got in this one?
that I couldn't really go to sleep after Tampa blew that game.
Horrible.
They had that game won 2 or 3 times.
Horrible.
And I thought when they got the ball back with, I don't know what it was, 2 minutes left, whatever it was, the play calling was absolutely absurd.
Horrible.
It was awful.
Yep.
And it took away a great performance. They had played so well.
Yeah, they really played well until that. Yep.
Okay. If they lose this game with Spencer Rattler quarterbacking, then they don't deserve to win the division or anything else.
Yes.
They have uprooted because of the hurricane. They left I think they spent the whole week in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Or they left yesterday or sometime. I like Tampa to cover simply because Spencer's. And no offense to him, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
And Tampa's better. They've got to win this game. They've got to be able to stop them and win this game.
If they lose, they're done. Give me Tampa. It's just that easy. You have to win. So the Saints aren't very good anyway. You have to beat them.
By the way, Kirk Cousins was unbelievable in that game.
Yeah.
Threw for like 450, 460 yards. Where's all the Cousins haters? I want to see you guys.
He was really good in that game. There's no doubt. I can't argue that. He did throw an interception that was terrible, but they asked him to throw the ball a lot. That's going to happen. So
well, yeah.
All right, disaster versus disaster should be fun. The Browns are, I get such a kick out of how bad they are now. They take on the Eagles, who are disaster. Eagles are at 9. That's how bad the Browns are. The Eagles are a 9-point favorite this week.
I can't take them as 9.
No
way, because they got all kinds of turmoil too. Hey, the Browns deserve every bit of it. We say this every week.
Every week. Yep.
This guy is pathetic.
Yeah, it's hilarious
in so many ways.
Yep.
And we're not going to start with him on the field. It's off the field. He's a pathetic human being.
Yeah.
You got him, Cleveland. Be proud. But I can't take the Eagles a 9. I just can't.
Yep.
They should kill him.
I'll take the Browns. I think 9 points is too many.
Too many for a team like Philly.
Yep. All right. The Commanders. Now that's a pleasant surprise. They're playing very good. That's a team you can kind of root for with their quarterback. They go on the road. This is a big game. They take on the Ravens. I still think the Ravens are damn good. But the Ravens covering a spread is tough for them sometimes. 6.5 points here. What do you like in this one?
This is very dicey.
Yeah.
This guy's completing 77.5% of his passes.
He's been fun.
And he's rushing for I don't know how many yards.
Mm-hmm.
He's completely revitalized that team.
Yep.
He is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Ravens, sorry, Chiefs fans, they may be the best team in the NFC right now. I don't know, Kansas City.
AFC, yeah.
AFC. I guess Kansas City. We got to say them first, but I think this is second best. Huge win last week over Cincy. He came back and won that game.
Yep.
Lamar's playing fantastic. He really is. 6.5? I don't know. I keep thinking somebody is going to bust the bubble and stop this kid. And it could be this week.
I think it is.
I think this could be the week. That's where I'm leaning to. I think the Ravens might solve him a little bit. They're going to be ready because they're 4-1.
Yep.
So I like the Ravens to cover this one.
I do too. I like the Ravens quite a bit in this game.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going. The afternoon slate just keeps getting better. The Chargers are on the road this weekend. They're 3-point favorites against the Broncos. That's right. The Broncos are 3-2, believe it or not. Hadn't been pretty, but they've been winning. Can they get another win over another team that hasn't really been pretty either? Talking about the Chargers.
That dadgum under is too low. I'm scared anytime it dips under 40. I thought Denver played good last week.
Mm-hmm.
And how about that little argument on the sidelines between Bo Nix and did you see that? And
yes, I did.
That was interesting. And is it true what Peyton said to him?
I don't know the answer
You
to
let me
that
call
question.
the plays, boy,
I
and you
don't
get
know.
back. I don't know if that was true or somebody made
I
that
don't
up.
know exactly what happened, but it was interesting. Yeah.
I don't think Sean Payton's going to take any shit off a rookie.
No, especially one as shitty as him. So,
Well, he's playing better.
well, he's playing better, but you couldn't play worse.
Or you can't act like that when you're a rookie.
No.
I don't like the Chargers in this game. Give me the Broncos.
Give me the Chargers. I don't like the Broncos at all.
Okay.
They're terrible. Speaking of terrible, the Steelers take on the Raiders. This will set football back a ways, I would say, with these two teams. The Raiders are horrible. Pittsburgh's a 3-point favorite. What do you think here?
Simply unbettable for me.
Yeah, I'll take the Steelers, but
yeah, but I have no confidence in them.
no.
I don't. They're not.
No.
They're any good.
Yeah.
The Raiders aren't either.
No.
I have no idea. But the Steelers, I don't have a clue.
I
did pick Dallas last week, and I did get it. But
that was a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Dallas, they host the Lions this week. Cowboys 3-2, Lions 3-1. Lions are a 3-point favorite on the road. Who you got here?
Huge game. Lions have had an extra week. They're better. Weren't they the ones that killed them last year in the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
I like the Lions. I don't think Cowboys are going to beat them.
Nope. I think Lions are tougher than the Cowboys. Give me the Lions in that one. Falcons and the Panthers, a game we've all been waiting for. Atlanta, a 6-point favorite here on the road against Carolina. Carolina's been, I guess, better-ish since the quarterback change. Still not great.
No.
I don't know. I think the Falcons win this game, and I think they cover, but am I crazy?
But, yeah, we're probably crazy for betting the Falcons.
Yeah, that's what
I think they cover. Yeah. I don't see why they don't. But sometimes Carolina plays people close when they shouldn't. Mm-hmm. They do have a good defense, you know. Mm-hmm. I like Atlanta -6.
I do too. All right, the game Kevin B's been waiting for. The Bengals 1-4 at the Giants 2-3. Bengals are 3.5-point favorites. The Giants have gotten better. You know, they look a little better than they did to start the season. Give them credit. Big win against Seattle. Got to give them credit for that. But can they win again? Can they get to 500 against a disaster of a team in Cincinnati?
Well, we all know Cincinnati's better than 1-4.
Of course.
They have lost a couple of games and you can't get them back.
Yeah.
They have to win this game. They are done.
Yeah.
If they don't. They're just, even though, they're not going to win the division because Baltimore wins, it'd be 4-2, and they would be 1-5. They're not going to catch Baltimore.
No, they have to win. And
the only way they could get into the playoffs, after my opinion, after 1-5, is to win the division. I don't think the wild cards can reach. They just don't. You can't keep losing games like this.
Yeah.
Because there's tougher games on your schedule coming up.
Yeah.
You have to win these games. They have got to win. They are better than them. But I don't know if they do it. I'm going to take them because it's a must win, and they're better. They got the better quarterback, and in a game like this, you kind of go that route.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't hold on. They just can't win. And they got to win this game, so I'm going to take them.
I'll take Cincinnati. I can't bet the Giants. Still can't do it. I'll take Cincinnati. Give me one more week, Giants. Show me one more time.
Oh, yeah, you win this one.
Yeah. Give me Cincinnati. All right, last one, Monday Night Football here. The Bills and the Jets. So we'll kind of end it here. The Jets have a new coach. Don't know if you heard about that. That sounds like that's going well there. Buffalo is a 2.5-point favorite here against the Jets. Who you got?
I like the Bills. I know they lost a tough game. I think the Jets suck. I think turmoil's going on up there. I think our 41-year-old quarterback's causing a stir, kind of sounds to me like. And that's not good. And I just don't think they're any good anyway. So give me the Bills.
Yeah, give me the Bills as well in this one. I think that things have gone bad up there in Jets land, and I saw a stat. Mark Heft, who usually watches the show, I don't know if he's on here today or not. He sent me a stat. Through 5 games, the Jets have scored the same amount of points this year as they did last year. So, which is just crazy to think about. So Aaron Rodgers, maybe he hasn't helped all that much so far. And like I say, coach is gone. We'll see if that helps. But tough opponent to be playing, with a new coach for the first game. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and it's a big. The Bills need to get the ship righted too. They need to win the game. They've lost 2 in a row. They need to get to feeling good about themselves again.
Yep, they do for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that'll do it for NFL. Any other thing before we go? I'll go to baseball real quick.
I will say this. Well, we're going to baseball, so I will say this: this baseball, I believe, is the best I've seen in a long time.
I agree. The playoffs,
I'm enjoying it, man.
Yeah, the playoffs have been fantastic. I've got it on the screen now. You see the Guardians, the Tigers beat the Guardians, so they're 1 win away. They can do it tomorrow. And get on to the championship series. The Phillies and the Mets. I've got this game on in the background right now as we're doing the show. Phillies are very much threatening here. Second and third, 1 out, and it's 3-0 count on the hitter that's up there right now. So this is huge. Mm-hmm. I think if the Phillies can win this, I think they're going to win this series. I think they'll win game 5, but obviously
I just don't know.
The Mets can close them out here, and the Mets have been fantastic.
They're fun. They're fun to watch.
Yeah.
They're never out of the game.
Yep.
They can hit. And back to that Detroit, the way the schedule is in that series, if it goes to Saturday, because they're playing every other day.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, well, they may play tomorrow.
They play tomorrow.
Yeah, so they did play back-to-back once, but then they don't play till Saturday, and guess who can pitch on Saturday?
That's right.
So they are really in the driver's seat at this point.
Yeah.
They've been amazing. The Mets have been amazing. Really, so have the Royals.
Yep.
They've been pesky. They have just they finished the season poorly.
Yep.
And then they've come to the playoffs, and their pitching has been unbelievable. So that's a tough game tonight, too.
Do the we'll talk about the Royals here in a second, but do the Philadelphia scored. It's now 1-0 Phillies, an infield hit. So still 2 on, 1 out there. Philly gets the first run in the 4th. Let's talk about the Royals in a second. I want to talk about will the Padres eliminate the Dodgers tonight? I think the Padres will.
They better.
They
got the pitching matchup. They got them right where they want them.
I think they got them.
Arguably, have they been the most impressive besides Detroit?
Yep.
I guess one thing they haven't. They can hit. My God, that lineup is tough.
Yeah.
Now the one weakness that we said before this ever started, the Dodgers starting pitching is very suspect.
Yep.
And it has been. They just can't get them out, and they'll have to out-hit the Padres tonight, and they face Dylan Cease. Now, they bombed him in game 1,
mm-hmm.
and Cease is either feast or famine. When he's not on, you do hit him. Mm-hmm. He doesn't pitch very many 4-3 games. It's 8-0, or it's 8-0 the other way.
Mm-hmm.
So they hit him hard the other night, but the Padres have got him right where they want him. They are fun to watch. They are spirited.
Yeah, they're good.
And when they get on a roll, they're hard to stop.
Yep.
I thought it was very impressive last night. They got up 6-1, 6-2, and then the Dodgers 6-1. Then the Dodgers a grand slam to get it to 6-5, and they never scored another run. I thought that was extremely impressive. Neither team scored another run.
Right. Yeah.
I like the Padres tonight. I think the Yankees can get the Royals tonight, but it won't be easy.
Yeah, Yankees Royals, that series, I should say, moves to Kansas City tonight. 1-1 there. That is a toss-up game, I think, tonight, in my opinion. Now, here's a little surprise for you. So my buddy, Ricky Pasternak, big Yankees fan.
Yeah.
begging me to go to the Cotton Bowl because he went last year. He wants to go back. I said, there's years you go down there and there's years you don't. This is one you don't. I'm not going. Forget it.
Not for $270 a ticket now.
Well, it's like 400 if you want to sit in the OU side.
In the OU section, okay.
And he goes, hey, I got an idea. He said, why don't I come visit you? The Yankees are playing in Kansas City in Thursday night. And I said, all right, we'll go. So I'm actually going to go to the game tomorrow night between the Yankees and the Royals.
Well, that's why we're doing the game today.
That's why we're doing the show today. I have no dog in the fight, so I'll just go up to, I guess I'll support the Yankees for Ricky because I don't care if the Royals or Yankees, either one wins. So, yeah, we'll be going to game 4. So I'm hoping, I think it would be great if the Royals won tonight.
Yeah.
Just because that would be an incredible atmosphere to eliminate the Yankees, or will the Yankees come back and beat them? I think that'd make for a better game. But either way, I'm halfway excited. I don't care who wins, so it's kind of, be fun. So yeah. I do think the Yankees win this series, though. I do, but it's tough. Baseball's tough. So
it's very hard to predict.
All right, last thing we got to talk about. The Devils are 2-0. The Blues are 1-0. The Blues win 3-2. Good comeback win. Hockey's back. I watched it all night last night, all day and all night. It was great.
Can't get into it yet.
Blues game was good. Florida got the job done. Now, I'll be honest, I was flipping to the baseball for a lot of it after the Blues, but I did watch it. And then Utah gets their first ever win in franchise history. They beat the Blackhawks last night. So more tonight. Vegas opens up tonight amongst a whole lot of other teams. So there's more games on tonight as well. But yeah.
Vegas and the Avalanche tonight.
Yeah, really good game. That's a 9:00. So we'll see. We'll be flipping back and forth between that and the Dodgers and the Padres. Should be good. Yeah. And it seems like Toronto opens. I'm interested in Toronto tonight as well. So
Mets got out of that with just one run. That's huge.
Yeah, it's. I was just going to say that. And Kevin was right. I'm watching on the corner of my eye. It looked like an infield hit to me when I was watching live. I'm doing two things at once. Watch the replay. It was definitely an error by the third baseman. So they get the run on the air. However, like I said, it's still just 1-0 going into the bottom of the 4th. So it's anybody's game.
You bet.
All right. That's it. That's all we got. Let me see something here. I believe Blinkers Off is going to happen. It's still not set up, so I'm not confident. It was supposed to be at 6:00, but I see that the room isn't set up yet, so I'm going to guess it's going to be later, but it might be at 6. But Blinkers Off is coming on just a little bit later tonight. We're going to be talking about the Breeders' Cup. First look at the Breeders' Cup. So kind of just a general overall discussion on the headline stories that we're looking forward to. So, all right. Anything else before we go?
Nope. So you got your tickets.
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to
you're talking about the concert. Yeah. Okay. So I told you guys last week, this band, Cross Canadian Ragweed, they hadn't been together in 14 years. They're getting back together and they're doing a show at Boone Pickens Stadium in Oklahoma, or in Stillwater, Oklahoma State's football field. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it signed up and, like, there's so many people signed up to get tickets that they had to do 2 shows. All right, so here we go. We're getting ready. I've got a team of people working on it. We got 3 or 4 people in line waiting for tickets online, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 out of the 4 of us never got in the room to purchase tickets.
Really?
Never even got in. Thankfully, one of the girls that was sitting there got in somehow. It was able to get tickets for all of us, or we wouldn't have got any.
Wow.
But get this. 160,000 people were waiting to get tickets. So they added 2 more shows, a Thursday show and a Sunday show. Those tickets have now all been sold out as well. So in a matter of a few hours, they've sold 180,000 tickets. That's incredible.
Let me ask you did they ever have a hit?
Well,
of their own?
Yes.
I mean, that was big.
Several, define big, like
million sellers.
I don't know the answer to that. They weren't really a band that they played on the radio. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
They did have they had a song. Them and Leanne Womack went together on a song. They did play that on the radio. They played a couple of their biggest hits were on the radio, but they were more of a they're not Nashville basically type of country.
So when you went to their shows, did they cover other
No,
songs?
it's not this is not a cover band. No.
I know, but I thought maybe
all
okay,
original songs.
So there's okay.
Yeah.
So did their albums sell well?
Yeah, I think so. This is
a phenomenon, really.
Yeah. So the singer's name is Cody Canada. That's correct. Yeah. So they're Cross Canadian Ragweed is the name of the band. Canadian for Canada, Cody Canada. One of the guys' last name's Cross, and one of the guys I think is his name's Rags, maybe. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was curious because I went back, believe this or not, because of this. I thought I'm going to go to YouTube and see if I've ever heard any of their songs. And the answer is no.
Yeah. So, for example, they would play in front of like 1,000 people.
Right.
They came to Missouri Southern once, where you and I went to school, obviously, and they sold 2,000 tickets, and that was one of their bigger shows.
Well, this is a phenomenon.
They
sold this many tickets after that many years.
When they announced it, they thought if we can sell out the stadium once for one show, it would be like nothing we would ever dream of doing. And they've done 4.
So it is a phenomenon.
And people are still left out.
To get tickets.
People still didn't get them. So it's crazy. Yeah. And again, so Red Dirt Music is kind of an underground music scene, but they were the leaders. They were the ones that made it as popular as they made it. So
yeah, they were the leaders. Yeah, Red Dirt Music is country, but it's got a bang to it. I'm trying to describe it. It's not twangy. It's not hick country. It's more kind of rock country, but it's not really rock.
Yeah.
It's just if you want to know what it is, just YouTube it and listen to the music.
Let me drop a link to their biggest song.
Well, the one I saw was Alabama.
Yeah, that's their biggest song.
Yeah. Well, I saw a bunch of them, but
let me see if I can find it here.
All you got to do is go to YouTube and
wait. For example, this video has been viewed 6.2 million times. So that does show that they are popular.
Oh, no doubt.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
You just don't see selling out concerts like this when they've never did it whenever they were actually playing. And then you wait 15 years and you come back again. And when you never really were commercially that famous. If you're not part of the area, you probably don't even know them.
They're more like country sounding than Nirvana and Pearl Jam. It's not grunge. It's definitely not grunge. It's like go to or just type in Cross Canadian Ragweed. They'll have all kinds of songs that'll come.
I compare them a little bit, and not quite, but a band that maybe some people will know. 2 actually. One is Alabama. I think they're a little bit like Alabama was.
An updated version, yeah.
And the Eagles, kind of.
The Eagles had a country.
They had a country thing to them. The Eagles did on a lot of their stuff.
They did,
like "Take It Easy."
Yeah, they would take a song like "Take It Easy" if they did it, and it would be a lot. It would be more. The lyrics might be similar, but it would be a lot. Just a lot.
A lot more sound.
Yeah, and it's a lot more. I don't know. I don't know music enough to describe it.
Yeah, but that's who they kind of reminded me of a little bit. There was a local band around here. Twain. When I hear Twain,
they're not really.
They're not. No,
they're more.
Like the Eagles.
They're the Eagles if they grew up in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Right, but
they have a very much an Oklahoma feel, but it's not what you guys are thinking. Like, oh, they're rednecks. It's more like
no, they're not.
People that during that time in Oklahoma, that's how they were kind of. I don't know if that. I don't know.
Well, it's a unique music. It's between country. It's not rock
Right.
because it's not loud.
Right.
But it's got a little rock instrumentation in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
More so than country. You don't have that steel guitar and that fiddle and that shit. The banjo, you don't have that.
It's rock country kind of mixed
together. YouTube it. It's real simple. Just YouTube it.
Just YouTube them. Yeah, I'm telling you, they're great.
But you can't get tickets, so
yeah.
If you love them, you're out of luck.
Well, no, but I think they'll tour after this because, like I said,
why wouldn't you?
we went all over this country watching them. We were reminiscing on all the places we've seen them at, and like I said, though, again, 1,000, 2,000 people. Now it would be packed at these places, but they're tiny places.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right.
Well, see how it sounds in that big place.
Yes. Oh yeah, it'll be crazy. So all right, we gotta go. I gotta get ready for another show. I got food to eat as well. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck to everybody. Pray that we're here next week talking about Oklahoma beating Texas. They'll
have to come on. We may have to do a Monday show if that happens.
I think we might do a Saturday show if it happens. So we'll see how that goes.
So much fun. Yes.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you. Hey, hopefully we talk to you Saturday. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
This is due to better.